all these rejections from the middle Bollinger Band.
Resistance we're going to need.
If you actually see here, we get a
And we'll look for a healthy higher
I
low.
would not
don't have
be
the
convinced
pullback
to
to
enter
cross
long
structure.
trade.
Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. So we were waiting very patiently. The thumbnail from yesterday's video was the calm before the storm. I waited all day today just because we knew a break was imminent any hour, and it's a clear bear break. We're going to look at the shorter term time frames first: Bitcoin, Ethereum, IOTA, and EOS, and then we'll zoom out to the bigger picture, and then we'll check back in on how the bounce is playing out after we look at the longer term real quick. So we're going to try and keep this video a little bit shorter so the upload time is shorter as well. The 15-minute RSIs are down to extreme levels and trying to bounce. They got to single digits. Why can they get so low? Well, because the price was very flat. Everybody was waiting for the break, and when the break occurred, we saw a ton of bears enter and a ton of stop losses trigger and a huge volume spike comparative to the previous bunch of hours. So that's leading to conditions that are getting to more extreme RSI levels, and even the bounce right now is not convincingly strong. So we have to be cautious of a 15-minute bear flag and then another leg down on the hourly time frame. We dropped all the way down to 7,361. If we do see another lower high and lower low on the 15-minute time frame, hourly RSI at that point is going to be down close to the teens. That's when I'm going to be looking to make an entry, and if the bounce goes on without me, then I'm just fine with missing that as the play was the bears. The bears were the play to make by jumping in, and of course I'm not playing bearish on GDAX, so I'm not really liking a bullish entry of this bounce unless the trade comes to me, and that's because I'm being more picky because of the clear bear break that everybody's waiting so long. Which direction are we going? Very clearly short term we're going bearish, and looking at the hourly chart RSI, one more push down, we have a support right here of 7,355. and then a support down at 7,351. But even if those levels break, it's really now just the 4-hour time frame in the daily chart with the lack of support. There are a couple support levels, but it was a clear tightening pattern that broke bearish on increasing bear volume. The 4-hour RSI is almost oversold, so we're not expecting to dump right down on the daily to a new lower low. The bulls will have one chance essentially where they can see what kind of bounce they can get, and if they can bounce anywhere significant, then they'll still be in the potential of the daily continuation on this oversold bounce. Obviously, it's not a good sign that we broke the low of consolidation so far. It's a lower high and lower low. Any way you cut it, this is a bad scenario for the bulls, and their backs against the wall, and there's a couple support levels before the low down at $7,058, and the bears are smelling blood right now. So the question is, can this bounce see any kind of meaningful impact that will have the bulls any kind of confidence? Or is it just going to be a bounce that cools off the hourly and the 4-hour RSI before we do float back down towards 7,000 psychological support? Ethereum is still dumping, so we just dropped to a 15-minute lower high and lower low. The RSI on Ethereum is down at 14. I was stopped out of my position, so part of this volume is, like I said, it's bears jumping in and stops triggering in a bit of a waterfall effect on high volume. The hourly time frame for Ethereum, again, RSI is down pushing 20. Big time bear volume, and we're down looking now on Ethereum at the next support level 574.31. The 4-hour time frame approaching oversold as well. We don't have a clear daily lower high and lower low. We did have a nice equilibrium that did break bearish here, but the daily chart hasn't broken the low of the initial consolidation yet, which is down here, and that's down at 574. So while Bitcoin has broken the low, Ethereum has not yet. So definitely worth keeping an eye on that as well. We'll see if any kind of bounce can save this support level for Ethereum. But again, the bounce is going to be correlated to Bitcoin. And now that Ethereum has dropped down to a lower low, there goes Bitcoin as well. So a little bit of a early signal, but pretty much in line with each other. So that's another lower low, and that puts our hourly RSI at this point on Bitcoin down at 17. So I'm going to wrap up this video quickly and start scaling in some orders. IOTA USD dropping down, not as oversold on the 15-minute time frame. The hourly chart is getting down close towards 23 RSI, and the 4-hour chart is dropping down. We can see we broke to a lower low. The next support level's down at 151, and 4-hour RSI is approaching oversold as well, very similar to everybody else. And the daily chart, we did break the low of consolidation up to that point, so we are still in pullback mode, but we have more space to go before we drop down and break the low of the initial dump. and that is a beneficial thing for IOT. That's not so much the case for the other names. EOS USD, 15-minute time frame. So oversold bounce is attempting to play out now. Let's see if we get these candlesticks forming on these other names that are similar on the 15-minute time with the time frame with a lower wick. So let's see by the time I finish EOS analysis if Bitcoin's 15-minute price is back up to 73.55 or so, because that's what EOS is showing. And again, sometimes people are looking for EOS to be a little bit of a lead indicator. 15-minute RSI got down to 20, and the RSI on the hourly not as oversold, so just dipped below oversold with that long lower wick, but didn't really stay there very long. And the 4-hour time frame not anywhere near oversold. So it still remains that EOS is the strongest names holding up here, and we do still have some supports, 1353, 1332, and the bulls are still holding on just fine. The daily chart still extremely strong. The low of consolidation, we're nowhere near there yet. It's looking like an equilibrium here with our high of the bounce, low of consolidation, lower high, and then heading back down to try and form this higher low. So EOS is the best looking daily chart out of this whole bunch. The 15-minute time frame, the bulls were clearly the first ones to start buying this dip, and seeing these other names are not catching up yet. Ethereum's still down at the low with no wick. So it's a little bit different. Let's see how this bounce plays out and if EOS is giving us any signs other than the very clear sign that EOS is the most bullish name out of the 4 on this list today. So we're going to wrap it up real quick. I know you'll continue to do good things. We'll check in with a bit more time tomorrow. I'll go live and we'll go do some altcoins and some question and answer and all that fun stuff. But I'm going to get into some potential trades. I appreciate you watching. Keep an eye on those hourly RSI levels. And hourly RSI levels in the teen, we're pretty confident to begin scaling in there, absolutely, if you have not done so at this point. So thanks again. We'll see you soon.